So, with the unveiling of Star Wars Outlaws, there have been many conversations as to the cost of the game. If you watch my last video, I actually compared the game's pricing with a game like Tom Clancy's The Division 2, which came out last year. And what we saw was it seems like there's been a creeping $9 to $10 increase on the US side when it comes to the different versions of the game. My copy of Tom Clancy's The Division 2 was marked down from $100, and I paid about $87 on Green Man Gaming when it came out at launch. So this particular game, if say the previous pricing of some of the premium games were somewhere around $100, this game is adding $9.99 to it. And we used to be able to play our games for about $60 back in the day. So $69.99 is that $9 increase. And I can't really remember nor wrap my mind around Ultimate Editions and how those actually did go. And so I can't really, make that I can actually make that comparison here because that's for people who buy those versions. However, in my video today, I wanted to go ahead and talk about what is the value proposition that a game like this is actually dropping when it comes to appealing to players. Because again, Ubisoft has not necessarily been able to live down its past glories of infamy. And it's not, crazy because I guess with them, they bring out so many games that it's so easy for them to be the target of a lot of what, the gaming community pretty much, wants to rag on. However, they're not always helping themselves as well. Bringing out a game like Skull and Bones and saying that it's a, quadruple A game when in reality, many people don't think so, and all kinds of other things, and possibly ignoring a lot of the fans and not bringing the Assassin's Creed settings that people want. I guess the news is now out that there is possibly a Japan version that's going out. But then at the end of the day, you really have to go ahead and say, okay, what is this Star Wars game's offering? What's this game offering that the other Ubisoft library is not offering for much less? Is the game going to have the depth of Odyssey? Is it going to have the huge width of a game like it? Valhalla, and the way the open world is built and the way the fan base really does appreciate the new telling of the Assassin's Creed game. They finally came around, or these new Assassin's Creed games from Origins all the way to Odyssey and Valhalla. Is this new Star Wars game going to be able to have that effect on players? How about Far Cry? When you look at the Ubisoft library, these Far Cry games, depending on the one that's your favorite, some people swear that it's 3, some swear it's 2. I think 4 was my favorite, but everyone has their own preferences. But again, I haven't played 3, so I guess I'm kind of biased in that way. Could it be that this Star Wars game can leverage that proposition? And the answer, it's very hard to tell. And this is one of the reasons I kind of think that there might be an outcry of some sort, that's out there basically questioning why in the world anybody should give, Ubisoft $100 for a game like this. And again, when you also add to what the fandom in terms of Star Wars has actually been dealing with, it's not really a very simple thing overall. I think at the end of the day, though, some people are open-minded and want to play this game. I think they're not necessarily jaded. Like one of my audience members said, they said they've never experienced, anything Star Wars outside of what they know about Outlaws, and the fact that they know Ubisoft massive, they're more than likely going to give the game a shot. I think this is possibly where we're going to see some very interesting takes, especially as it comes down to all of the above. For me, I may go ahead and try it with Ubisoft Plus. I don't know specifically, but we'll see as time comes around, because at the end of the day, it's a very interesting proposition. I'm not necessarily, too much into this kind of telling of the Star Wars. Many of you may or may not know, Jedi Fallen Order is one of my favorite Star Wars games, but that is also because I like the Jedi Order faction and the storytelling there. Any other faction, any other storytelling, to me, I just look at it like, okay. So for me, this is not necessarily something that I want to spend money on day one. However, you just never know. If it's exciting, if it's interesting, if it carries the quality of Ubisoft massive, possibly it may be attractive for someone like me who's enjoyed the Division for many years to go ahead and buy. But at the end of the day, the value proposition is going to be a very big deal. Anybody who's coming into this particular ecosystem has to basically realize, hey man, what is this game going to offer me as it compares to, say, the other Ubisoft library games? And most of these games that I just showed you, even though I showed you them at full price, they go on sale so often. it's going to be a very tough sell to be able to get this game pushed out the shelves. But you never know. Star Wars is very popular, and it might just surprise everyone who may be doubting, myself included. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching the video. I appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we can talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.